Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. Today, we have a very, very, very special episode for you guys. Joined with us, right below us, is none other than Abel Ramos, accomplished boxer, awesome dude overall. Ladies and gentlemen, Abel Ramos, we'll get into it with his career, his past, his present, and what he plans to do in the future. So sit back, relax, and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always with my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels, and everybody right below us, one of the more accomplished welterweights around today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Abel Ramos has joined us on the show today. Abel, thank you so much for taking out the time. How are you, sir?
Doing good, man. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for the
Awesome. Yeah.
invitation.
No, thank you. Thank you for accepting. And you come home from the training sessions and thank you. Thank you so much. I guess the first question that everybody likes to know is like, how did Abel Ramos become a boxer? I know it's in your family history. I know your uncles are former boxers, now trainers. Was it an easy choice or was it just the way it was supposed to be?
Yeah, man. Actually, my older brothers are the ones that started competing in the amateurs.
Right.
But yeah, we were fans, man, since little. My dad used to watch all the fights. We used to watch all the pay-per-view cards back then. Family gatherings. It was boxing all the time, and yeah, man, it was destined for us to be boxers.
Awesome. Awesome. So born in Gettysburg, but raised in Casa Grande, Arizona. That's because your family wanted to be closer to the family. Um, do you think if you were still in Gettysburg, you'd be a boxer, or it was just wherever you were, this was going to be your path?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know if I would have been a boxer over there. There's not a lot of gyms over there, and yeah, man. I think moving here was just the right choice for us. But yeah, man. I don't think I would have been a boxer if I would have stayed in in Pennsylvania.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Abel, speaking of pay-per-views, who were some of your favorite fighters growing up as a teenager and as a young man that inspired you?
Yeah, I used to look up to Julio Cesar Chavez. My dad was a big fan of his. My whole family was a big fan, and Oscar de la Hoya, and all those Shane Mosley. I used to watch all of them. Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, all those guys were inspiration for me.
Fantastic. So you had your first amateur bout at the age of 13. Um, Describe that experience. The first time in the ring, actual competition. Tell us about the first time you got punched and what did that feel like? And did you know there and then, yeah, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, man, it was actually it was awesome, man. I remember at the time me and my brother fought that day. He's a year older than me. His name's Jose,
Yeah.
and so we got into training just to lose weight because we were chubby, man. We were fat kids, and like a year later into training, we went to a competition, and my brother got to go in first. He got to fight first, and I was happy for that, man, because I was so nervous.
Right.
I didn't want to go first.
Right.
And he ended up fighting. He lost the close decision. And then after that, man, I was just like, all right, man, I need to win. I need to win because he lost, so I need to win. And it was awesome, man. I still remember, and I got to win. I fought a guy from California, and I fell in love with boxing ever since, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you carried on with the amateurs and then you turned pro in 2011, I believe. What was the decision process there? How did you know you were ready to turn pro?
Yeah, so I tried for the team for the U.S. team. I lost and I got third place in the nationals. I
Hmm.
didn't make it to the. I had a chance to go to the to a another tournament to qualify,
Hmm.
but I was just tired of it, man. I was tired of making weight for 5 days straight. It took a toll on you, man. And but I loved it. I loved the amateur experience. I had a lot of fights. I had about 120 amateur fights.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so after that, I was just tired of it, man. I just wanted to turn pro, and that's what we did.
Awesome. Awesome. And were you right with PBC right from the get-go? Is that where you,
No,
no? Okay. So
no,
how
no,
does
no.
that work?
Yeah, it was hard at first, man. Arizona didn't have a lot of boxing back then.
Hmm.
Um, and I was struggling to get fights, man. I wasn't signed to anybody, and I got to a point where I was like, man, I think I'm just gonna quit boxing and get a job, man, because I wasn't getting any fights. And I remember I got a call from a manager in California. He told me he had a fight for us on Showtime, and that's when I fought Maurice Hooker.
Hmm.
I took a fight on a week's notice. Actually, I
Hmm.
remember just saying, "Man, I need to take a chance at something, man. If I don't do it right now, I'm never gonna do it."
100%.
So yeah, so I took the fight. I was like, "Man, I don't care, man. I just want to get in there and fight and make some money already." And I know we ended up fighting to a draw, but yeah, man. Ever since then, that manager started getting us more fights.
Awesome. Awesome.
Abel, you've been in a lot of wars. What are some of your most memorable fights that stand out to you? The most exciting fights that you would like to let our fans know?
Yeah, man. I think the fight against Ivan Baranchik, man. That fight was a war, man. He
Mm.
knocked me down, I knocked him down, and it was just a battle, man. I remember that fight just being the toughest fight of my whole career.
I remember it as well. I remember
Yeah,
you getting knocked down and then you came back. And I'll be honest, I mean, most times you think, okay, how's he going to recover? But dude, you came back strong.
yeah,
Yeah,
You came back really
very
strong.
impressive.
I
yeah.
was
Thank you.
we were already fans at that point, but that kind of really solidified everything in our mind. Like your just your dedication, like you're a come forward boxer. Do you feel you've come to a point where you might need to change your style a little bit now as you're getting more, as you're accumulating more fights and stuff like that? Coming forward style, is that still work for you, or do you see that now that you need to kind of change the philosophy a little bit?
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, we're always working on things in the gym. We're always trying to improve, my
Hmm.
defense and everything. But it's just hard, man. Once I get to a fight, man, it's just I
I
want to
get it.
brawl, man. I get excited in there, But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to doing because, like you said, man, I'm getting a lot older now, and I want to end my career on a good note, man.
Well, I wouldn't say you're getting older, brother. I just, um, speaking of fights, we were in Vegas for your last fight. Phenomenal fight. Really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, didn't go the way you were hoping. But Abel, what do you do to take away from that fight? The one thing we like to show our listeners is how do the fighters that we have overcome obstacles such as that. Like, what motivates you to go back and train? What did you take out of that fight against Cody Crowley that yeah, what was your assessment?
Yeah, man, it was a good fight, like you said. It was a good, exciting fight. Back and forth. But the biggest thing is that I had in my mind going into the fight. Like a couple months before the fight, I was thinking about going to 140 pounds,
Okay.
going down the division. I always felt small for a welterweight, man, and I think that's the biggest thing I learned from this fight, man. That these guys get big, man. They get big for fight night. They put on like 15, 20 pounds, man, and I was only putting on like 4 or 5.
Right.
And I felt it, I felt his weight in the ring. I felt him like heavy.
Hmm.
So my biggest lesson from that was that, man, that I need to go down the weight, make a little bit more sacrifice, and I can make the weight pretty easy.
Fair
Abel, I
enough.
have to ask you about this because a lot of people are talking about it. Do you feel that that was a knockdown when you're fighting Cody? Do you think that, or do you think that they got it right?
I mean, yeah, on a technical note, it wasn't a knockdown. No, his glove didn't touch the the ring, the mat. But I mean, I think Vegas needs to change that rule, man. At least have the standing eight, the standing eight rule because it was clean from a punch. It wasn't like we were wrestling and he fell and they needed to check the tape. It was a clean punch, and they didn't just take the knockdown away from me. They took the opportunity to stop him right there because boxing knockouts, that's how they happen. They got to be real quick, man, because give them 10 seconds, 20 seconds, that's enough for them to recover. So yeah, man, I think they need to have like a
Hmm.
standing eight rule just because the punch was clean. I mean, it wasn't like we were wrestling or anything.
Right. And
Yeah.
again, not to create any controversy or anything, but are you okay with the decision?
Yeah, man, it was a close fight. You know, I'm not gonna be there. Oh man, I won the fight. You know, it was I admit it was a close fight, and it was exciting, man. I
It was a
enjoyed
good
the fight.
fight.
Yeah.
Was there anything Cody did? Was there anything that Cody did in the fight that surprised you or impressed you besides his weight and how big he was?
Yeah, man, just his resilience, man. He comes forward, man. He just
Yeah.
doesn't stop, man. He's
Fights
just
like that's what you get when you got two guys just coming forward at each other, man. Relentless. Like that was
yeah.
really exciting fight. Abel, honestly, we did a mid-year in review, boxing mid-year in review, and that whole card was our choice for card of the year so far. I mean, your nephew put on his showing. How was that for you, fighting on the same card with your nephew?
It was cool, man. It was cool. I enjoyed doing that. You know, we get the whole family to come down and just enjoy the fights, man. We're there together. We're making weight together. It makes it a lot easier for us, man.
I saw you in Vegas, but you were really preoccupied, so I didn't get a chance to actually come up and meet you at that point. I didn't want to disturb you. But it's kind of ironic. You think about it, when you were 13, you and your brother went for your first competition, so to speak. He lost, you had to win. Roles were reversed on this night. Did he feel the same thing when you came back?
I'm pretty sure he did, man. I mean, no, we were focused on our fights. You know, he was focused on his fight. He had his
Right,
game plan, and we had our game plan.
right.
But yeah, man. I mean, he when went back to the locker room, he just gave me a hug and just right back to work, man. Like he had a job to do. You know.
He had to stay in his frame. Right. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. So let's talk about Saturday night. What did you think? What did you
Man, it was
see?
a
What did you see?
man. I think I was expecting a closer fight. To be honest, man,
I think we
I
all
was
were.
expecting. Yeah, I think I was. We were all expecting a war. You know, back and forth. But man, Crawford is he's a special fighter, man. I said it from the beginning, man. He's different, man. He's different. We actually have the opportunity to have a camp in Omaha with him
Oh
and his
wow.
team.
Wow.
And I mean, that guy's just crazy talented, man. And he works hard too, man. So I wasn't surprised, but I kind of was at the same time, just because Spence is big and strong.
Right.
But man, Crawford's a different
Right.
different level.
I think some of the stuff that's coming out of this fight now more so is the talk of the neurological effects of that car accident that took Spence, there we posted a couple of things from some doctors that were talking about it, just from not checking him out, but just looking at him with a blind eye, and a trained blind eye, and a lot of them are saying that he is suffering some sort of trauma from those accidents. Your thoughts on that? Like, as a boxer
I'm
yourself, at what level do you guys get everything checked out and everything to make sure it's all cognitive? I mean, with the shots with CTEs being the issues they are, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, he was good to fight. He was good to fight, and we go through some exams. Vegas is actually the one that asked for a lot of exams
Right,
to get cleared.
right,
And I mean, I don't know, man. I think the issue there was he didn't recover from that first knockdown. I think he
right,
never recovered. He got up a little bit stumbly from the first one, and I just think he didn't recover from that,
right.
man. He kept saying that his timing was off, but I think he just didn't have his legs underneath him.
Well, he didn't have his legs. He didn't have his jab. The one thing I've noticed though a lot myself, just hearing a lot of boxers, and we had a former champion on last night to review the fight with us. And the one thing I'm hearing from a lot of people, and this is why I love boxing, the humility. Everyone who doubted Crawford are all coming out in the most humblest ways, saying we were all wrong. I'm like, how can everybody be sleeping on this guy?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just think, to be honest, I think people don't really watch boxing that much. They just go for the hype. They just see who's more on social media, who has the biggest name, who has the biggest promoter, the biggest fights. But they gotta really study the fighter and see that he's a special fighter. Turning
Abel,
southpaw
speaking of
going
great
orthodox, it's not an easy thing to do, man.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Speaking of great fighters, what did you think about the Haney Lomachenko fight? How did you see that one play out?
I honestly, I thought Lomachenko pulled it off. I thought he won the fight. But again, man, another close fight. Another depends on what you're looking for, man. But I thought Lomachenko won it. At the time when it was live, I was like, Lomachenko got it, man. But no,
Yeah.
that's just boxing sometimes, man. It's too close. They're too close to call, man.
No, for
And
sure.
that's why I think they need rematches, man. Some of these fighters, they get away with a little close fight and they don't want to see that fighter again, man. I mean, it's not like the old
That's
school
true.
fighters.
No,
You had
true
a
enough.
close fight, you got to run it back and make it clear.
Fair play. So
I
would
actually heard
you?
today that they're making Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko. They're going to announce it the next few days, so they're saying in the news feed. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that should be a good one too, man. I think Stevenson beats him, but it should be a good fight too.
Yeah, no, I believe that as well. Abel, when you look at the current state of boxing, how motivated are you with the state of boxing? Are you happy the direction things are going? Because 2023 has been a hell of a year, man.
Yeah, man. It's great. I think the fights that the fans want to see, they're making them happen. And I think boxing needed this for a long time, man. There was a lot of no, you're on this side, you're on that side, and I'm with this promoter, you're with that promoter, and I mean we weren't getting the fights that we wanted to see.
Yeah.
So now that they're stepping up and going at it, I mean it's great for boxing.
Awesome. I have one question here for you. I'm gonna go back to the beginning of your career. I only asked this because I found it really interesting. You don't really see rematches per se, as we were just talking. But early on in your career, you fought Jeremiah Torres twice, back to back, 2 4-round fights. You won both of them. Explain what happened there. Like, how did you end up fighting the same guy twice?
Yeah, so like I said, man, it was hard to get fights here in Arizona.
Okay.
It was hard, man, and I remember that time. So the first time I fought him, that guy was bald.
Okay.
He had no hair, man. And then the next time they told us that they had a fighter for us. He came into weigh-ins, and then I saw him with long hair. So I was like, no, it's not the same guy. And then they gave us the name. I was like, it sounds familiar, man. It sounds like a name that I fought before, and it ended up being the same guy, man. But it was just hard to get fights here, man. It was the fighters were always pulling off. But
So wait, the
I
dude
mean,
was bald, right? You said?
yeah,
Wow, man,
it
that
was
guy,
that was just
his
me
hair,
not recognizing. Yeah,
his hair
that was
must go
just me not
fast.
recognizing.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. That's crazy. You're talking about 140. Is that where Abel Ramos is going next?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, man. I'm going down to 140
Okay.
pounds, and I'm excited about it.
How do you feel about that? That's a murderer's row down there, bro.
Yeah, man, it's getting good, man. It's getting good. It's there's a lot of good fighters there now.
So we got
So, man, I want to be where the action is at, man.
fair play. You have fought Progress before,
Yeah,
and I would love to see that run back. But your thoughts on Haney Progress? That's coming up.
man. I think I don't know, man. I think I'm leaning a little bit towards Progress just because of his experience. He's been at 140, a lot longer, and his punching power is a little better than Haney's. So I think I'm leaning towards Progress a little bit, man.
How about his last performance, though? How do you feel about his last one? Like, I mean, yes, he won and everything, but he didn't look spectacular in doing so.
Yeah, that's what I heard, man. I didn't really watch the fights. I just watched some highlights,
Right.
but yeah, man, I've heard of that it was a close fight and he didn't look that good.
Fair enough.
Do you have any fights planned coming up? When's your next fight going to be roughly? Like November, December kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting like late October, getting a fight in late October. That seems to be the goal right now.
Any breaking news? Or is it too early?
Not yet, man. I'm still
That'll
waiting,
be at
man.
140 for sure.
Yeah, it'll be 140 pounds for sure. Yeah.
Well, brother man, try to get it on that Lomo Shakur card, man, if you can. And then, oh no, that's Top Rank. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. No, that fair play. What does boxing have to do, in your opinion, being inside there, having your ear to all the talk that most people don't hear. What do you feel boxing needs to do to get the right fights going and keep this consistent, not just a 1 year flash in the pan?
Man, I think the fans, man, the fans need to ask for these fights. You know, they need to pressure the fighters to call the promoters, because I feel like fights don't get done just because fighters don't, you know, they don't pressure the promoters. They don't be like, hey man, I want to fight this guy, make it happen, and don't make it happen. You know, they'll do whatever the fighter wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
But for a while, I think boxing was just business. You know, they were just trying to stay undefeated, get a couple fights, do this and do that, but now I think boxing's moving in the right direction. You know, people want to prove that they're the best, and that's what they need to do.
Fantastic.
Abel, what do you think about Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou? What do you think about that fight? You like it? Are you interested?
Man, I think it's gonna be easy for Fury, man. Tyson Fury he's an animal, man. I'll be watching for sure, man, just to see what Francis does, man. But I think Fury's gonna have an easy night.
Well, I mean, they're talking he said the same things when he was fighting Derek Chisora. Let's meet in the middle of the ring when that bell rings and go. I mean, if it's like that, I think Francis may have a chance if they decide just to throw haymakers, right? I mean, ultimately, I think Francis still has the stronger punch.
You think so? I'm not sure, man. I don't think he hits harder than Wilder, man. So Fury's been with some heavy hitters, man. So I don't think there's just no way, man. I think UFC is just a whole different sport from boxing, man.
So let me ask this then. Let me ask you this way then. When they test the punch power, is that test different from an actual throwing a punch? Is that Okay.
Of course, man. Because your timing has to be right.
Right.
You know, you have to be able to connect on the right place, and then it's way different.
Because I believe he recorded the strongest punch, like a Guinness Book of World Records. Like being one of his punches apparently is like being hit by a Ford Escort. That's what they described it as.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just for a test, or if that would be plausible in an actual fight.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard, man. But you know, it's a standing target. You know, and Tyson Fury he moves a lot. He has a lot of you know, he moves like a lightweight, man. He's a heavyweight. Right. So he's gonna have trouble, you know, landing a good shot on him.
So what do you walk around at?
Right now I'm like 168, 167, but I'm heavy, man. I'm heavy. I'm barely getting back to the gym. It's like my third week already getting back, and I'm starting to lose weight already.
Okay. So you're just basically getting ready, getting the motions going again. How is that? How is the process? Yeah. Arizona's bloody fucking hot right now, man. What's that like?
Yeah, man. We're getting up like at 5 a.m, man, just to go run. Yeah. Because we gotta beat the heat, man. By 7 a.m, it's already like 110 degrees Fahrenheit, you know, but yeah, man, we get up early, and then in the boxing, the afternoons, you know, we have the AC on, just try to stay away from the heat, man, because it's just too damn hot.
And so outside of the ring, what does Abel Ramos like to do? Who is Abel Ramos outside the ring?
Outside, I'm a family man. I like to hang out with my family. I have a big family. 4 brothers, 2 sisters, a lot of nieces, a lot of nephews, and it's just hang out with them, man. Hanging out, going outdoors. Got a little razor, you know, take it to the desert and just go riding, and that's pretty much it, man.
Awesome. Chance? Anything? Chance, can you hear me?
I can hear you. My internet froze there.
Oh, sorry. Chance, do you have anything to ask?
I can't hear you. The internet froze. I say that again.
Oh, sorry. You cut out there. Just wondering, do you have anything you want to throw in?
I didn't hear what you guys said there. Like I said, the internet froze there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. We were talking about you know, what Abel does outside the ring. He was talking about family and just
I heard that part
with them, and that's where we left off. And then I was looking to you to see if you wanted to go next.
I was going to ask you. You're walking around at 168. Is it going to be hard for you to drop down to 140? That's 28 pounds. That's a lot of weight. You think you'll feel weight drained or anything like that?
No, not at all, man. Like I said, man, I'm heavy right now. Just got back to training. I got married in June 30th.
Congratulations.
So I was in Mexico for 2 weeks, man, just eating everything, man. No exercise, just eating, and so I'm a little heavier than usual, you know. I should get down to 160, 158, 57 as soon as I get it back on track.
So when it comes to the weight cut and then getting ready for that, when does that actual process start, and how depleted are you? How much power do you actually lose in that process, and how much do you get
Yes.
back for the fight?
So 147 for me was easy, man. I would maybe do like a month of like strict diet and I would make the weight pretty easy. Fight week, I wasn't like drained or anything like that. I was making it pretty easy. So if I do my diet a little longer, I can get to 140 pounds like nothing, you know.
So it's all about timing the process. Like
Yeah, yeah,
not it's kind of like me writing an essay the night before. You don't want to do it that
yeah.
way.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. You need time, and to do it the right way, you need to get some time. 8 weeks is perfect, just strict diet and the exercise. The exercise alone, man, you lose a lot of weight.
Fair enough. Fair enough. With the heat out there, I mean, all you have to do is probably just stand outside and just that would take it right off as well.
Yeah.
Abel, so we got possibly something coming up in October. What in the meantime, just train, train.
Just train. Just
Yeah.
train, man, and aim for that date.
Okay.
I'm already started my training, my diet,
Yeah.
just in case it happens, just
Okay.
as soon as we get confirmation, we'll be ready to go.
Fair enough. And outside the ring, are you working on any other projects? Are you just solely focused on boxing? Like what's the picture for you after this is, this chapter is concluded?
Right now, just just boxing, just boxing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just got married, just spending time with my wife,
Yeah.
my family.
Yeah.
And then yeah, man, just focusing on getting a world title, man, 140 pounds.
That's going to be awesome, man.
Abel,
Can't wait to see that.
What other sports are you interested in besides boxing? Do you watch football or baseball, or is it just boxing for you?
It's just boxing for me, man. I used to watch a lot of sports back then when I was younger, but it's something about boxing, man. It's just you become an addict, man, and that's all you want to watch.
I trust me. Yeah, I know we're pretty much the same way, all of us here. I have a bad habit of waking up at 3 a.m. to watch fights in Japan. Right. I mean, it's not hard. The walk is only 50 feet from my bed to the couch. But I remember Inui. Did you catch that fight?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, that was another surprising fight, man. I didn't think it was gonna be that easy for him either, man. But
you think about those two fights, both those fights were supposed to be contested very equally, both of them. But the Monster and Bud just dismantled them both. I mean, that's what I was saying to Chancellor. Is like, if you look at both those fights, different but very same in terms of the way they looked. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely, man. I think yeah.
Abel, I got a question for you. Who do you think are some of the best boxing commentators going today right now? I never hear this question asked from fighters very often, but I thought I'd throw that to you.
Commentators, man.
Who do you like calling your fights?
Yeah. Man, I think I miss the HBO crew, man. Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, man. I think they're. It might be just because I grew up on them, man, but I don't think there's anybody like them right now, man.
Fair enough.
I can't really say anybody right now, but
what about Morrill? Morrill,
Morrill Ranello's from Vancouver.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
He calls all your fights, bro. Right now,
yeah.
He's calling all your fights.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you catch the De La Hoya documentary?
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I saw it, man.
Yeah,
I watched it. Yeah.
What did you take away from it? Like, I love De La Hoya. Just a little bit of insight, very much like you. I grew up watching Hagler and those guys initially. Never live though, mind you, it was all on replays. But my dad was a huge De La Hoya fan, and he made me watch him because he was a technical boxer, a scientific boxer. And my dad was always about that style. So watching Oscar, I never saw or heard of any of these things. And watching this, it was just kind of like an eye opener. I didn't realize how dark his life was. Your takeaways?
Yeah, man, the same thing, man. Because growing up, I used to watch him, and he was a perfect role model for me, man. I didn't know he was going through all that stuff, man. But I mean, I think they just, he was just such a big star, man. They just made him something bigger than life, that I'm sure that's how he felt, he says it in documentary, that he felt like God, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody wanted him, Hollywood got a hold of him. Everybody just wanted to be around him, man. And pretty sure it was hard, man. But yeah, it was like crazy to see his story, man. His tell the truth about what happened.
He was very truthful. A lot of that
I was
stuff.
gonna say I took away the honesty. He was so honest about all his triumphs and tribulations. Like that's the one thing I took away from it. He was very
Like,
honest.
Yeah, man, that's hard to do, man. Especially
yeah.
all the things that he went through, man. That's
The-
that took guts, man. Took guts to do that.
It's a bitter pill to swallow, considering how long it's been lodged right here in his throat. You think about it. Some
Yeah.
of the things that came out of that documentary have been covered up and disguised for decades to only be told now, yeah, we were lying about
Yeah.
that. Oh yeah, we were lying
Yeah.
about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to give away details for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but a very, very telling documentary. Self-inflicted. I'll be fair. I think a lot of it, some of it, majority of it self-inflicted. How does it happen that someone becomes so successful, all their dreams are achieved, and all of a sudden they're depressed and everything is wrong? I've never understood it. Like,
Yeah, man. I think it's like I said, like Oscar said, man. I think his life was just a lie. It was just a big lie. So I'm pretty sure he must have felt wrong after doing interviews and saying things about his mom and knowing that they weren't true. I mean, it must have been like eating him up alive, like saying, man, can't believe they're talking good about my mom and she wasn't nice, and
but
I don't know.
he started it all that way though, right? Like, I mean, if you think about it, his greatest ally and his worst enemy was his mother.
Yeah,
For
Yeah.
him alone, just
Yeah.
forget the other siblings, right? I mean, to say what he said, and if you think about it, that statement is what propelled him to everything,
yeah,
right? I mean, he didn't say, if he never said that, none of this would have happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, and
Right?
I'm sure. I mean, he wasn't hanging around with the right people. I'm pretty sure he had some bad influences on him. Going to parties and doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he was that good, man. I'm surprised that he made it that far. Living that double life.
Well, I mean, you saw it when he got to the Sweet Peas and the Trinidads and Bernard at the end.
Yeah.
Like, you think about it, like up until that point, I mean, I think everything was going great for him with the Chavez fights and everything, but everything started to take a turn after Sweet Pea, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, man. It just makes you think. Well, what could have been if he was 100% focused, man? I think he would have been an all-time great. I mean, he already is. He already is. But
no, he's
he
great.
would have
But
been way better.
if he was 100% focused, I think Floyd would be 50-1. I think
Yeah.
Canelo would be, did he fight Canelo? Yeah,
No,
right.
No, he did.
No. They
His
never
promoter.
fought Canelo. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
right. I guarantee Floyd would have been 15-1.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure, man.
If he stayed true to the art form. But I tell you what, Abel, I want you to get back to your family. And
I got one
everything.
more thing I gotta do
Please,
here.
go ahead.
We
please.
play the name game before our guests go unboxing. I'm gonna throw out a boxer's name. Just give me your first few thoughts that pop into your head.
All right.
Okay. Manny Pacquiao.
Exciting fighter, man. Exciting fighter.
Miguel Cotto.
Miguel Cotto, another. I just see him. How do you say it in? Man, I'm spacing out in English.
No,
a brawler. A brawler.
Yeah. What's the Spanish? What would be the Spanish word for brawler?
Fajador.
Pacador. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, he's inside. He's inside fighting. Inside fighting.
Fair enough.
Antonio Margarito.
Another warrior, man. Another come forward warrior.
Yeah, and I got one more for you. Roy Jones Jr.
Man, the Roy Jones Jr. special fighter, man. Special talent.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well said.
Okay, I got something for you. Who do you see as the future of boxing? Who are some of the names that you should tell? Who should we be looking out for? Abel's picks, future picks.
My nephew for sure, man. I gotta say
absolutely.
my nephew.
Yeah.
He's
That
he's a
dude
young
walked.
fighter, you know.
that-
Yeah,
he walked all over him that night, man. Oh my God.
yeah. Who else, man? There's a lot of good up and coming fighters, man. Tank Davis is also a household name now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Boots Ennis is good too, good fighter. And I think boxing's it's in good hands, man. I think we got a lot of good fights coming up.
Yeah.
Speaking about Tank, that could be a prospective an opponent for you down the road here. How do you feel about that?
I would love that. I would love it, man. I would love that fight. I think it would be awesome fight, exciting fight for sure.
Speaking about running things back, do you think Isaac Cruz Tank should happen again? Because you look at Isaac,
I
the
think
way
so.
the way Isaac is carrying himself these days, like, you know, he's standing like he's 7 feet tall, but I mean,
Yeah, I wasn't really impressed with this last performance against Cabrera.
yeah,
It was a boring fight, to be honest, man. I wasn't expecting, but I mean, Cabrera's an awkward style too. You know, style makes fights. But yeah, definitely a rematch just because the first fight was close. I would like to see it again for sure.
do you think it happens?
I don't know. I don't think so, man. I think Tank has bigger plans.
I think so too.
But I think if Cruz keeps winning, keeps calling him out, I'm sure it'll happen again.
There's a log jam at 135. Between 135 and 147, the log jam is insane, man. We will watch you navigate through that, and we wish you the best, brother. And we hope
Thank you.
we hope we find out about your next fight, and if everything works out, we would love to be there for that as well, and come down wherever you are. So thank you so much for taking out the time to spend it with a couple of guys here, and you know, and just get you back to your family, brother, man. So thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, and we hope to get you back on for round 2 here.
No, yeah, for sure, man. Thank you guys. Awesome interview, man. It was awesome, man. I love talking boxing, man. Appreciate
Awesome.
We'll have you back. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Maybe
For
we
sure.
can get you back on here. You know, maybe as an analyst, we can talk about one of the big next fights that are coming up, and get you back on to review it with us.
For sure, man. Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Thank you.
We'll be in
Thank
touch.
you.
All right, everybody. So that's it. Another episode of Samp&Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson. I got my man Chance Michaels, and right below us, ladies and gentlemen, Abellito himself, Abel Ramos in the house. Guys, Samp&Chance are out. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great one.